Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and my series Hardy Zone 5B. I hope everyone is doing fine and you are also super excited to start your garden this year just like every year. So, though I am a little late to start my seedlings this year because I've been away for a while, but I'm still good because here where I live, the last frost date is May 11th, so which means we have an extra 2-3 weeks time. Mostly it's May first week, but this year it's a little late because it has been a harsh winters here. But we are hoping to get a plentiful, warmth this summer. So keeping my fingers crossed. So let's today's video is all about starting the starters seedling soil, like how do you prepare your mix for your seed starters if you are starting seeds from scratch. I'll put down the links of all my videos, how to prepare the pots, all the videos in relation to the beginners who are doing the gardening in this zone, especially for the first time. You can go and check out my videos on those. But this video is particularly all about how to start, starter seedling soil. That soil mix is readily available in the market, but it's like very costly. It's like $8 to $9 for this small bag. So it's pretty easy using your existing soil, and you have to just, make a combination of very cheap things, and you can replenish your existing soil to make a starter mix. So let's not waste time and let's get started.
So the first thing you have to do is just take a potting mix which has already been used in any of your pots. So technically I use the indoor potting mix soil because that is more soft and supple instead of using an existing outside pot soil because it has more organic waste, and sometimes I personally use stone mix and other materials, so that is a little hard one to work on for starter seedling soil. So I prefer to use any used, because this is the season. In the spring season we usually repot our plants, and we have enough of used soil that we either we add to the soil or we completely change the soil of our indoor plants. So I personally use the indoor potting mix soils of any of the planter. I think 1 or 2 planters would be good enough depending on how many seedlings you are starting. So I have taken some of the soils already. Just as you can see, I have sieved through some of the soil. So for this you need a big sieve with some big holes like this one, like I have the little big holes one. And for the first shot, to just sieve off some bigger pieces of any organic material like perlite or stone mix or anything, and then we will sieve through the finer to take out the finer soil through a fine sieve, as you can see. So the left hand side soil that you can see is the one that I have sieved through the big sieve, and the right hand side one is the one that I have sieved through to the tiny particles. I've taken out everything out of it. So you have to do it both ways, and then the most important part is you have to make sure that there are no hard stone pieces or any wood chunks in that soil. So, and then obviously you have to keep the soil in sun for 1 or 2 days to make sure there are no fungus gnats or any other kind of infection in it. So this is the way you do it. Okay, so let's see how we can do this. So as you can see, for the part that I've already done, there are 2 material that I took out. The one is the stone mix one, and the other one is like a softer remaining particles from that soil. So the softer one I'm going to mix back into the seed starting soil, because that will give some air to the roots of the new saplings, but I'll not put the hard ones. So you can make out when you sieve through the soil from the bigger chunk, you can easily make out how to. So as you can see, I am sieving through very lightly when I'm using this big sieve, because we just need to make sure that the wood pieces, vermiculite or perlite or any other. If you are using, leca balls in some of the pots, I do use that. So everything come out and we are just left with this softer version of that potting mix that includes maybe, cocoa peat or any other softer material, peat moss, anything. We need all that, and we only need that portion for our seed starting mix, and rest of the pieces, nothing in this soil, minded, nothing in this soil, whatever we are saving through is waste. You are not going to throw away anything. Nothing in this soil is a waste material. Everything is going to be used in our house plants potting mix. If you are reusing them or making your own potting mix, you can reuse them, and even if you are using the ready-made one, just make use of handful of it. So see, I am showing you the portion that I had already done in advance yesterday. There was like some of the soil. So this is how we are going to segregate that soil into three portions. This is going to be the finer portion, and then these are the soft perlite that I'm going to reuse back into the seed starter mix. And some of there are hard pieces of stones. You can easily make out that which one is hard and which one is soft, and we can, the hard ones we are going to use in our house plants potting mix, but the softer one we are going to use in this soft, that peat moss, the finely sieved soil. And these big chunks are obviously going to go into the houseplant mix or any of your bigger pots. Even if you are doing outside gardening, your vegetable mix, when you make bigger pots, you can use them in this. So nothing is waste, as I said earlier. Once we have sieved through everything, we have to sun dry it for 1 to 2 days. Make sure it's completely dry, because do not forget, it's a used soil. It may have some kind of fungi or bacteria, any kind of, any kind of pest can be there in this soil, because it's a used one. But since we are replenishing it, we want to make sure that it's completely sterilized, and the best way to sterilize the soil is to keep it in full sun for at least 2 to 3 days, and by completely moving it, then we are going to add it perlite to it. You can use any brand of perlite. I am using here Pro Mix, but you can use any brand of perlite. If you do not have perlite, you can use any other material, like thermocol balls or anything, but or rice husk you can use as a substitute, or you can use cocoa peat if you have that. But I prefer to use perlite, and then I use vermiculite. That is, again, I'm using Pro Mix. I will put down the links of these products in the description box. If you want to purchase them, you can purchase this brand, or you can use any brand. Please make sure that please mind it that this is not ad generated video. You can use any brand of your choice. So I am using 2 handfuls in this particular mix. I have sieved through two parts of soil, and I'm using 2 handful of perlite, 2 handful of vermiculite, and the last material, and it just mix it through. Vermiculite and perlite both, perlite adds air to your soil. It makes it airy and light, and vermiculite just hold the moisture in your soil, which is completely essential for your starter seedlings. Their roots are very tender, so they want a good supply of oxygen for their growth, and at the same time they also want to retain moisture. Then the last thing I'm going to use is peat moss. I am going to use, this is like, I'm going to use like 3 handfuls of peat moss. This is just a starter feeder for them. We usually don't use any kind of fertilizer for seed starting soil. At the end, once they have started growing, Then we feed them with a diluted solution of compost tea, but nothing else we are going to feed when the seedlings are very small. So make a good mix of it. So once the soil is ready, I have filled my pots with that mix that I have created. As you can see, I have created multiple pots, and I have also saved the finest material without mixing perlite and promix. I have kept 1 cup of that finest mix as well, just to cover my seed. So here are my seedlings. I'm going to have created the labels as well, and this is very essential. When you start your seedlings, you have to label them, and the way to water them is to just water from from the bottom. If you are going to water from the top, they are just going to float through, because the soil is very light and fluffy. So you water from the bottom and then spray from the top to just make it moist. The other way of using it, you can sometimes, some people do it, mix everything in a bowl or a pan and then add water, and just you knead the dough. They do like that, but I prefer this way. Now I very softly kept my seedlings on the top of it, and I'm going to sprinkle the softer soil just to cover my seeds, just like this. And then I am very softly going to dab them. You're not going to push them very hard. Once it's done, I am going to spray water on those seedlings very gently, and then put your labels on them. Make sure you put date and time, just like here. And I just put them in your seedlings, and put them in a sunny place where you can get at least 5 to 6 hours of indirect sunlight, like bright light. They need bright light to grow. So make sure. So here is like tiny seedlings, like which we have started earlier. They have started to spread.
So see how easy it was? It's not a rocket science at all. You are doing good to the environment, good to the nature, and good to your pocket as well. So you're using, replenishing your existing soil, making it good for your starter seedlings, and it's very easy. Like, my point is, like, you don't have to spend money on the things which you don't have to or you don't need to, right? So do this way. It's super easy. It's a well tested method. I've been doing it for many years now, and it's not difficult at all. Trust me. You just have to do a little bit of work to sieve the soil and to prepare it, but at the end you'll get good results. So I wish you all the best for this summer season. Do share your results, and if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do that. And if you like this video, please like, share with your friends and family, and do put down in the comments how did it work for you and how successful you were in doing this way. So I'll meet you in the next video, and before I go, I'll give you a glimpse of how my seedlings are doing right now. So bye bye, take care.